They have basically read everything and anything publicly as well regarding Woods, and put together a fascinating book, lots of stuff and stories and anecdotes that had never really come to light before. So they're on the way after 8 o'clock. Also in the middle hour, we'll talk to Richard Cooper and see what he's made of the World Cup studios thus far across BBC and RTE and ITV, and then of course football show after 9, because we are talking World Cup.
Off the ball.
Joe, you're convinced an Irish win by a goal?
1-0. Total control in midfield, 1.
Well, easy, onto it comes Houghton. And Houghton with the shot, and it's there!
Again, the sound is great, very sharp. What a terrific run this is. Wonderful piece of football. He's still in here. Oh, that's the greatest goal of the tournament.
The gentleman in the yellow hat exists nowhere in the firmament of international football and has no right to interfere in such an officious way.
Good play by Vimeo. Goes for the shot this time. Oh, Craig Bonner. Oh dear, oh dear.
Roberto Baggio now. Roberto Baggio. Oh, look at that. Just look at that.
Romario is in the middle and scores. And Romario gets a standing ovation in the Cotton Bowl.
Roberto Baggio, the saviour of Italy throughout this tournament. He's missed it. And Brazil win the World Cup.
Yeah, there we are. So let's get into where we are in this World Cup. That was a homage to 1994. No England there, but they're certainly here in 2018.
Oh, great save, but it's finished. And Harry Kane puts England in front. Which Trippier will take. Maguire to the header there. It's in. Harry Kane again. Captain plays his part once more.
And that was the moment, Keith Andrews. So the English press very excited. The Times, justice is their headline. Kane scores last gasp winner after being denied 2 penalties. Back page of the Telegraph, Captain Fantastic Kane so proud after late header seals opening win for England. The Guardian went with happy ending. Captain Kane delivers. England with last gasp winner. The Sun went with I'm buzzing. Kane scores twice amid insect swarm and roars. And he scored, he conquered, says the Daily Mirror. Proud skipper delights fans with late winner after VAR farce. So that is some scoreboard journalism right there. Can you imagine the headlines if it had stayed 1-1 and every other aspect of the performance was the same? So wins change everything. Wins make everything okay. And certainly everything is okay on the face of it for the English media, and Gary Lineker called it an exceptional performance as well. What did you make of it? Kind of start with the first 20 minutes.
Probably as good as we've seen off any team. The way I've said about England with the personnel that he has available to go with, I think they have to make it into Premier League tempo matches at times. You can't do that for 90 minutes, obviously, but with the climate in Russia, it's not as if they're playing in South America where it's really sapping and they have to play a game that's alien to them because of the conditions. That was them at their best. That's what they are capable of doing. With the personnel, that front 4 or 5 players, wing-backs playing high, aggressive, they were sensational for 20 minutes. Really, really good.
And do you like the shape of the team? Do you like the team he's picked?
I think it suits them, yeah. I think it really suits them. I think it's been a brave call to play. Didn't do it in qualification, done it as soon as they qualified. From day one, I'd imagine that was the plan. Working on it, I reckon there was information going to players, even when they weren't in camp during the international friendlies. Playing Kyle Walker at right side at centre half is a brave decision, but I think it could prove dividends. The left side would worry me. Ashley Young defensively and Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire, the reason he's playing is because of what he does on the ball.
Is Ashley Young not very competent defender with Man United? Plays in that position all the time?
He's okay defensively, I think. I think coming up against a top quality wide player forward, I think he would struggle. And likewise with Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire I've seen a few times this year for Leicester, and again, it's everything on the ball. Very good. Tell you what else annoys me about, I shouldn't say annoys me, because it's defensive. The alarm bells just aren't there with him when he's defending, right? But what it does annoy me is when the ball gets played across to him from John Stones or Kyle Walker, as it's coming across to him, he should be taking it on his left foot driving out. Considering he's played left-sided centre-half for a number of years now, he takes it off the outside of his right all the time. These are basic. If a young kid was doing this, you'd be telling them, whoa, bad habits.
Yeah.
Not as reliable. But that area against the top nations would worry me. But overall, I thought it was a good performance. They should have been out of sight at half-time. Lingard could have had 3 or 4 goals.
Sterling missed that chance. So if they score 2 or 3 in that first 20, 25 minutes, then Tunisian heads drop.
Yeah.
And it's a totally different game. It's a commanding performance then. But in a way that seems to happen to England more than most. Tunisia get the penalty and suddenly it's 1-1 and things are a bit jittery. And you can play darts with the journalists all you like and you can do the PR offensive, but none of that kind of matters when you're in that white heat, that Iceland-esque kind of scenario, which they were in. So how do they handle that?
It's going to be difficult because you're right in terms of the PR, the build-up to it. It's been as good as it's ever been, barring the Raheem Sterling thing, which I think was blown up too much.
And actually came back circled around to be used as a positive. He's actually a good lad. Yeah. He's having all this
reason he's
criticism is unfair. Yeah. So when they're in that moment against Tunisia last night where it's 1-1 and right, come on, all that noise, all that PR stuff, that disappears. It counts for nothing.
Yeah.
So how did they handle chasing a goal?
Harry Kane was a simple answer. They didn't do anything particularly brilliant to try and get it back. Have they got absolute world-class players? No. They've got very, very good players in attacking areas. Sterling still doesn't look like Sterling of Man City, which would worry me slightly because
in his general play or just the way he didn't take that chance, or in his general
play, I think. There was a couple of opportunities when he had the opportunity to drive on the turnover and there's only 2-3 defenders back where you've seen him leaving people for dust in the Premier League. Didn't do that last night on a few occasions that he had to do it.
When you say England don't have any world-class players and have very, very good players, how many teams do have a world-class player? How many world-class players, in whatever Keith Andrews' definition that is, are at this World Cup?
5, 6 maybe. So, yeah, you're right. And Harry Kane is borderline.
Okay.
So beyond him, like his game last night was actually very quiet. But in terms of, he obviously gets the goals, right spot, right time. That's not a fluke. He knows what he's doing. Goalkeeper should have done better on the second goal, in my opinion, which didn't really get picked up on. I thought he was really poor. I know he'd come on as a substitute, but they have got very good players in those areas, attacking areas.
How many world-class players did Germany have 4 years ago?
Yeah, fair point. Was Kroos world-class then? Not so sure.
So it's not essential?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not.
To go far in this tournament.
What you're saying is in terms of those moments when you need them in the games. Yeah. Ronaldo, free kick last week, world class. That's what he's capable of. You can only do so much with very, very good players and you can keep doing the same. He keeps on talking about the way the team is, the patterns that we use. They will keep playing in the same type of fashion, but sometimes you need individual brilliance to win you a football match.
It struck me watching the first 20 minutes. Now, I was in here, so I'm watching the game as closely as I can in studio, but there was no doubt that the Tunisians, if anything, were kind of naive early on and gave all that pace that England have room in behind to run into.
Yeah.
And then as the game went on, they kind of realised,
actually, let's stop
these lads are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Let's sit the hell back.
Yeah.
And suddenly things got very congested for England. Like for me, it wasn't that England, lost their way or all, it was just actually Tunisia played a bit smarter for me.
The way they played. Yeah. Well, that one, when Dele Alli ran through, do you remember that one? That's England at their best. So Henderson played the ball. By the way, I thought Henderson was outstanding.
The round the corner over the top one? Yeah.
That's Dele Alli running behind. Lingard does that really well. And when Lingard does that for club and country, what he does is, even if he doesn't get the ball, he's creating a load of space because he's taking 1, maybe 2 defenders away or taking people's eye off it to create space for the likes of Sterling, Rashford, whoever it is. But you're right in terms of what they did. So then the problem for England, which a lot of people are saying is going to find them out, if teams sit deep and counter-attack them, who's the one that's going to unlock the door? Because they haven't got Steven Gerrard, they haven't got a Scholes. Henderson has had a very good season. He gets a lot of criticism from Liverpool fans and fans in general, I think unnecessarily. He's got the nod ahead of Eric Dyer, but then they haven't got a natural ball-playing central midfielder. Like last night, and I think last night against Panama, he can play who he wants, really. Yeah. I think he'll get away with it. It's Delph, not good enough for that role. Eric Dyer, defence-minded. Then you go the other way, attack-minded, which you went with last night. You've got Dele Alli, Lingard against the bigger nations. you're not going to be able to play those two.
I wonder will the bigger nations sit back as deeply though? You'll get your chances. You'll get your chances to expose them because they will have periods of possession in your half. The bigger nations will. That's why I'm really curious to see Belgium, England. That's where we might get a feel what England will do against better
really
opposition. Yeah. Because even though they were struggling to make the breakthrough last night, like there was no sense Tunisia were going to score. Like they just weren't interested. They weren't good enough. The criticism, or certainly the question put to Southgate about his game management afterwards in the press conference was, you didn't need three at the back when they were quite clearly sitting back in the second half and only had one up top. I got that to a point, but like Harry Maguire and
Maguire
Stones,
was playing like a left back.
They were adding extra men up top. I thought that was a crap question. I thought it was a bad criticism.
But that's why he's gone with the three at the back that he's gone with. That's why he's played Kyle Walker as the right.
Yeah.
And it's why Harry Maguire has got the nod on the left-hand side.
They stepped in, they were extra men
very
upfield.
well. And what they do very well, and Harry Maguire does very well, he's going to get caught out every now and again. Because what he does is he drives in towards the opposition and he commits that winger, centre midfielder, attack, whoever it is, because then he takes him out of the game. The picture changes. A lot of the other centre halves, is Cahill good enough to do that on the ball? Probably not. Smalling didn't get in the squad because of it. Phil Jones, again, probably not. He's gone with that back three for in possession, and it's a brave decision.
I agree totally. They're creating extra men. They are going forward with the ball. I thought people cribbing about three at the back with versus one striker, it was a complete misunderstanding of what was going on. I thought it was a rubbish criticism, but that was the kind of big question mark for Southgate last night. So, are you kind of more confident that England might do something before you saw them last night, or is it still a question mark? Or what's your general feeling?
Just a notch up from where I was.
Okay,
I thought they would be decent. I liked the way he went about it. Whether he's been genuine in his approach with all this darts competitions in the media, but look, I've lived in England for 20 years, and every build up to a World Cup, a Euros, Joe, they get built up, and I'm telling you, the press just want to knock them back down. Whereas I haven't sensed that this time. Expectation levels have probably been at an all-time low since Euro 96 I moved over. So since then, from what I've seen, they've levelled out. So combined with that and the realism of where this squad is, it's the second youngest in the tournament, I believe. I think they're going along nicely, but that goal last night could do all sorts for that confidence.
You could see Southgate's relief and down at the fans, the double fist pump. He's not that type of character.
No.
I'd say that was him just out of body experience, like thank God. I almost like was on the sun as a turn up. Like, you know what I mean? I'd say he just got a glimpse for 5 minutes of what Hodgson felt against Iceland, of what so many England managers have felt. He must have in his private, even just for 30 seconds, not concentrating on the game, just thought for a second, oh my God, I'm going to be one of them. I was one of the penalty miss guys, and now I'm going to be one of the managers. I can't believe this is happening to me.
I don't think he could have done much more. In the time he's had in charge, qualification, clock off, which they always do. But in terms of since then, I've already mentioned, the bravery to change the selection, the way you've gone about things, no matter what you do as an England manager, people are going to criticise. Certain sections just want to criticise you. He's been brave with his team selection. I think he's going to have to keep being brave. For instance, against Belgium, I'd be amazed if Eric Dyer and Henderson don't start together.
Okay.
For me, Dele Alli last night wasn't quite... He might have tweaked a quad muscle at a certain stage. Didn't look too happy after it. So what's going to happen there in terms of dynamics? Because I thought Loftus-Cheek and Rashford coming on gave them a bit more spark. A lot of clamour for Rashford to start. I don't mind him coming from the bench for the last 20 to 30 minutes. What an impact player he is to have. And Loftus-Cheek, we were talking about that natural box-to-box ball-playing central midfielder to play alongside Henderson. I'd have him ahead of Dyer, Delph, Dele Alli for that type of role.
Okay, back in a sec.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
A new car doesn't have to cost the earth. Ford's eco-technology maximises efficiency and minimises emissions, which is not just good for the environment, it's good for your wallet too. And to save you even more, if you place an order with your local participating Ford dealer by June 30th, you can get an incredible clean-up bonus of up to €6,000. Choose performance, style and power and experience a real force of nature. Clean up with Ford for 182. Ford. Go further. Terms and conditions apply. See Ford.ie for details.
Connor could cook 3 dishes. Beans, toast and beans on toast. He also made a mean microwave popcorn. But last month he helped 5 people rent out their property with Sherry Fitzgerald. And another 6 the month before that. You may not recommend him as a chef, but as a letting agent, he has exceptional local knowledge and really cares about getting the best outcome. Sherry Fitzgerald, the agent you'd recommend to a friend.